Well, hello and welcome to Tim's Brick Adventures. So, today I'm going to do a spatial, that's what he said, video. We just came from a meet and greet at our local bricks and minifigs store there in Pearland. So I'm wearing my episode 3, the volcano episode attire. I really like these. I love the custom patch they did for us, and these are just the most comfortable overalls I've got. So anyway, and if you didn't know, I was on I am up until last week, spoiler alert, sorry, my partner Tim H and me, Tim H, were contestants on season 4 of the United States version, the North America version of Lego Masters, because now it is all over the world. There are, I don't know, there's a lot of countries that now have Lego Master shows. So anyway, I know that I've gotten a lot of questions about different things you've seen in the episodes, me doing, or just in general. There's a lot of stuff, fun stuff that didn't make the cut that I would like to kind of talk about. And one of the things, and this is just, it's not anything, they never really introduced Tim and I that much and showed any of our family pictures or, any of our background pictures. So I thought I would do a short, my Tim short video, just kind of talking a little bit. I've got a few little video clips I will interject in because there's a couple of fun things that I've been asked about, and so I can kind of illustrate them. And so just give you a little insight into our journey, mine particular, what I would like to do. I'm going to talk particularly about me and what I did and felt. And then I would like to, I'm going to see about trying to have an interview with my partner, the other Tim H, next week. And then you get to see both versions or both sides. So without further ado, I'm just going to it's going to be a rambling video. Like I said, I am going to try and maybe intersperse some pictures and little clips. There's not a lot that I can put in. So not a lot to put in, to be honest with you. They didn't show nearly as much of us as I had envisioned, but they did good. I will say this, I loved every minute of the show. Got nothing but wonderful things to say about anybody or anyone connected with the show. We worked hard. Season 1, we tried out. The other Tim actually, because it was brand new, they were reaching out to all the Lego user groups and really just trying to get people involved because it was new. Nobody knew what to expect. Nobody knew what was going on. We had seen the UK version, but as you all know, if you've seen the UK version, they were quite a bit different than that one was. Even we're kind of modeled on the Australian version, I believe, which they're right with us, but they're kind of ahead. Their season 5 just was airing or just ended, I think. So anyway, season 1, Tim had decided to give it a go, and he put the word out to the lug. Anybody else would like to try out, I'm thinking about doing this. And so not really putting the connection, the two names together at that time. I just got online to see what he was even talking about, and I'm like, wow, this sounds cool. I'd like to do this. And just happened to be I was at a place in life where I could had the time to make the effort to, because it's some work to get through the process, and I can't talk a lot about that either. But you do have, you apply initially. It usually comes out on the internet, their open call, casting call as they call it, and you fill out an application, submit some photos and videos and stuff. And so we did pretty well the first season, and as far as making it up the chain. And then second season with COVID, Tim didn't really want to mess with it. And so third season, they reached out to me actually, and they said, we like what we see in season 1. Would you all be interested in trying again? So I talked to Tim, and we thought, you know what? Let's do this. Let's try again. And so we did, and did pretty well. Did very well actually, and didn't end up on the show, but we did, respectable. So then we went ahead one more time. Third time's the charm, so to speak. And we got on this time, and I will say this, timing in life is everything. I was really sad we didn't make it last for season 3, but really sad. But as it turned out, a year later, we ended up, I felt like, with a group that we were meant to be with. The cast is just phenomenal. And I would say, please, if you're watching now, even though we went home, keep on watching, because this group of people is just phenomenal. Not only people, but builders too. Most of them are award-winning builders. Kelly has built several builds in the Lego house over in Billund. She's been featured many times. She's given lectures. She's the deal. She's the real deal. And Lewis, one of the teachers, he has a phenomenal museum build that some of you may have seen. I've posted on he was here for Brick Rodeo, and then I got to hang with him again. He brought it to Brick Fair, Virginia, up in Chantilly in August, so I got to see it twice, and him twice. I love that man. I love them all. Nothing but wonderful things about all of them. And as I'm on that subject, I will say our departure last week, it was not sad. I hated leaving. The hanging with everybody, the process. Like I said, I and my family commented that I looked like I found my purpose. And I found where I belonged, and I did. I was just, every day was just a pure joy. And yeah, see, like that. So, okay, we'll get back on track here. So as I was saying, I just was having the time of my life, and I really did enjoy every aspect of making the show. And one of the highlights, or one of the things I really wanted to do, was to meet Will and hang with Will. I don't know, it's not a fanboy thing so much as I just genuinely like him. And I've liked all the movies and TV shows I've seen him in, and the years of watching the previous seasons and his interaction with all the contestants, I just kind of, daydreamed, different things that would be said and stuff. And so I had a lot of stuff planned, and I got it all in there. Now, nobody in America got to see it, but it's there. And so I may tell a few little stories that happened, but I had a great time with him. He was awesome. Pretty much like what you see. Take him, love him, leave him, whatever. But I had a great time with him. And the judges, what can you say? It's Jamie and Amy. We really we struggled a lot every episode, and I ain't gonna lie about that. But their feedback was good, and I think that it ultimately ended up helping us with having a really, what I felt was a great build at the end. I really grew as a builder. I hadn't really done much creature building prior to any of this. Pretty much, I'm a Wild West guy, so I'm always building kind of Wild West stuff. Or I like landscape. I'm kind of more of an organic kind of person, my mountain range and all that kind of stuff. So, but I've always wanted to kind of sculpt. I'm just in awe of these guys that build these big sculptures, like Sean Kinney, Nathan, and I'm not even gonna try and butcher his last name. You know who I'm talking about. Stuff's everywhere. But these guys, their sculpting is just fabulous, and I just can't wrap my brain. But creatures and making them figures and stuff, I did figure out a lot of little things. Got a lot of opportunities every build, every one of the episodes. I got to do the boat. I ended up doing the big bullhead on the front, the little mechanical bulls. The second episode with Iggy, our kitten, I did the owl and the squirrel, the pinata. Got to just kind of play with some flowers and stuff. Tim made all the cool little, I don't know if you saw, because you really didn't get to see much of the builds, but he had all these little cool turtles he did, and there was some sea creatures. He did a lot of little fun animals and stuff. And then the volcano episode, we actually, the fish people, I came up with that. And they're very simple. Actually, I am going to show something on them. We actually got some of those. It was revealed last week that Atlanta Brick Co. got the builds from that challenge because the show did not want to clean all that syrupy goop off of the builds, and so it was just easier. The show, or I mean Atlanta Brick Co. offered, I guess, I don't know the specifics, but they traded brick for the builds, and so they were generous enough to, if they could salvage certain parts off of the builds, they sent them to us, each contestant for each build. So we got a handful of little fish people, and I just got them today at this meet and greet. So I will, I'll go find them. Because I'm gonna play with them a little bit, because you know, there's only a certain amount of parts you can have, and so I want to expand on them and all that kind of thing, because I've had several people ask about those. Then in the fish, we had the fish people, and I did a few other little actual fish and stuff. And then I got to do my mountain work. I worked on the mountain, the volcano, but you didn't get to see very much of that. So I'm going to try and put some stills interspersed in with this video. This I ain't gonna lie, this is gonna be a long video, but I hope you know, our fans and people that really know us and felt like they didn't see very much of us, that I can answer and expand on a lot of things. And then, like I said, next week, if Tim's got the time, I'll do a special interview with him and kind of get his insights and what his, you know, his motivations behind things and stuff like that. Because he was very instrumental. We pretty much, I think all four, the big idea were his ideas initially, because I don't know, I just, it was my big worry going in that I would just not be able to do anything. And I don't know, this creative block is just killing me, literally, and everything. But I did find that once, you know, he'd come up with the big theme, and then I was able to figure out how I could offer, you know, be of assistance, and I could build. And it kind of became the creature building and stuff kind of became the way I was able to, and I was able to use my art abilities and color and playing around and stuff. So, and he did a lot of any structural stuff, and he had to deal with the movement, and that was the thing I felt sad that last week's episode that sent us home, there wasn't anything I could do to help him with the movement. You know, that was way out of my wheelhouse. So, but you know what, at the end of the day, we ended up with a build that we were both really pretty happy with. Had a lot of fun towards the end. I mean, once we got all over all the humps and the pivots and stuff, and I'm going to say this about all those pivots. It was Jamie and Amy's critiques that made every one of those pivots happen. It wasn't us just being indecisive. It was them coming and saying, yeah, this doesn't really work. This doesn't really work like this. So, you know, or this is not a good idea. And so we had to come up with something different. And luckily we, you know, in a decent time frame. And so on that build, I ended up the magician, and the little little assistants, and then the mom and the bunnies. Basically the creatures again. And he did a wonderful job creating the all them wonderful decorations on the outside to make the magic show go, and of course the movement and all that. We did struggle. There was a lot of questioning about the big reveal, and because initially throughout the whole challenge, it was supposed to be the golden brick, and that was the other thing. So them reintroducing the golden brick really threw. I mean, it was like, oh man, now that it's just not going to look good. We got to come up with something different. It's like, not very creative. They just did, and it was almost kind of the same thing. Will sitting there opening the box. Well, ours was a treasure box, going to open to reveal the golden brick. And then we were and then initially, so Amy and Jamie, the first time they came, they were like, well, that wasn't all that appealing. And I don't remember everything, but so then we started kind of thinking, and then when the movement wasn't doing what we wanted, we kind of started thinking about a stage. And I mean, we went through everything. I don't know how we got on the bunny thing, but first it was going to be like a rock and roll bunny. I mean, I was just pulling stuff out of everywhere. And then I was going to do Will, kind of in fact, you saw the one little sketch they did of like it was the initial idea was going to be Will standing on the golden brick, kind of in the Elvis posture thing. And their critique of that and talking about, well, if it's going to be Will, it was going to have to really look like Will. And I think they weren't sure I could pull that off. And I don't know, maybe I could, maybe I couldn't. But anyway, it was not long after that Tim had the idea for magic. And then I was like, a little light bulb in my head went off, and boom, do a magician. So that's what we did, and we worked feverishly to get what we got done and have a complete build. So and then at the end of the day, we were up against Ryan and Aubrey, and I love them too dearly. They are two of the sweetest people you ever meet. They are also about the same age as my daughter, so it's like going against my kids, and you don't want anything to happen to your kids, right? So I was happy to see that they stayed. And then if you saw this week's, spoiler alert, episode, they actually kind of won the challenge, even though it was a tie. They had the best build, and they won a trip to Vegas. So it just made it even much happier for me, or validated for me that, us going home last week. So, that was great. Let's see. So I kind of talked about the challenges, and like I said, I'm going to intersperse pictures in there so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Couple of fun things with Will. So one of the things that I had been working up forever, because as you know, Will, his connection to Lego is I'm Batman. He's the voice of Lego Batman. Well, back when I was about 10, 11 years old, maybe, my grandma showed me how to sew by hand. And of course, I was a big Batman. Even back then, I was a big Batman fan. That was the first comic book I think I owned was a Batman comic book. And so I sewed up my own Batman costume. My brother was Robin, and we built a Bat computer. Because back then, the Adam West, the funny series with Burt Ward and Adam West was all the rage, and we were watching that when we could get a chance to, because my little town, we didn't have cable, so we had NBC and CBS, and that was it. But somehow, every once in a while, we'd venture to the big town of Russell, Kansas, and cousins had cable, so we'd see Batman once in a while. But anyway, so we made this really cool. I mean, we painted it up and put lights on it and all that kind of stuff. And it was up in our attic. We had the Bat attic instead of the Bat cave. Now, we did have a basement, so we could have had a Bat cave, but it was just much easier to be in the Bat attic. What is it? Bats in the Belfry or whatever. Anyway, and then we had our BMX bikes. So they were the Bat bikes. And we had little CB radio back in the day. CB radios were all the rage because all the truckers and the truck movies, and my dad was a truck driver. So I actually had, it was a replica. There was a movie called Convoy with the song Tom T. Hall did about Convoy. This here rubber duck, gonna put the hammer down. No, I can't remember the rest of it. But anyway, there was they actually in this toy store, they had a CB, had an antenna with an actual little walkie-talkie thing. So I mounted that on my bike, and we patrolled the mean streets of Bunker Hill, Kansas, where I grew up, as protecting everyone from all the super villains and all that. Although I don't know, we really didn't have mostly our family living around there, so we didn't have any villains. But anyway, so I was Batman in the 70s before Will did the voices. So this guy figure, it's kind of like Adam West, then me, then we skipped a bunch of losers as Batman, and then Will got to be Batman for the Lego movies. So I told him that story, and he got a chuckle out of that, I think. I don't remember now, it's been so long ago. But so, and then there was that, and then I think the interaction we had for the 4th episode. So I had told, they knew all about my many vocations as a private investigator, bounty hunter, bodyguard, and carpenter, and art, everything in between. And so he was asking me about that. And then somehow, I don't know if the lead in with the bounty hunting or something, we got on talking about that I watched the Western channels, all the old Westerns, TV shows and movies, and that's mostly what I watch all the time. And so it's for the older folks, which I'm kind of there. And there's always the same commercial all day. You got the Humane Society, or you got some kind of medication, or you got the walk-in shower. And so Will asked me, he said, so if I was to do a commercial on one of these channels, what kind of commercial do you think I would do? And I don't know, without even thinking about it, I said, you know what, the walk-in shower, that'd be the one for you. And he thought about it for a second, and he said, okay, Tim. He said, if I do the walk-in shower commercial, you get it, you direct, you'll be the one direct it. And so we shook on it. So we'll see what happens, you know. It's just fun, and I couldn't ask for better interactions. I just wish some of it would have made it on TV. But you know what? With this group, we had so many, or there are so many just awesome personalities and fun and quality builds. So, you know, it's like they had to make decisions somewhere. And I'm sure America was more than happy to see their building and that kind of stuff than seeing me talk to Will about the walk-in shower. So there you go. One other little funny thing I would like that I had a lot of fun with, actually. So Tim and I had talked about before, I mean, when we knew we were going on the show, but you know, we're just talking about builds and what we would do for different challenges. And being here in Texas, the armadillo is a popular thing, and we've included the armadillo in several builds and different things. And so we were going to try and stick an armadillo in every build some way, somehow. And somehow, I don't know, we got off on track. I don't even know if we had one in the boat. I don't think we did. But what we did have, so I don't know much about ships or boats, but I do know I've heard about a poop deck. And I'm all about pooping, you know, I'm at that age, you know, pooping's important. So I said, you know what, we got to have the poop deck, and I'm going to make a little outhouse. So I made a little outhouse, and it's hard to see, but it's back up in the back corner, and I may, if I can get a still, I'll circle it. But I mean, it wasn't anything elaborate. It's brown, and it looks like a little shack stuck up on the back end of the boat. And so we had the poop house. So we kind of talked about it. And then when the second episode, the tree for the Iggy, we're like, okay, are we going to try and work poop in here somehow? And we were both like, well, you got to have a party pooper. So it worked out. He had made, like I said earlier, he made them cool little turtle figures. So we have right outside the main entrance where Iggy goes in, there's a little turtle sitting there in a little pile of poop. so, so we had that, and then had a lot of fun with that. So then the third one, we're like, okay, what are we going to do with this one? So, of course, we had the fish people, and there's one on the very front. In fact, he's maybe the only green fish, and he's one of the ones I got. I kept him just for a reason, because I built him a little different than I did the others. And I can't remember. I think I called him George. George is, I don't know why George, but we had a little dog George, and there's the Looney Tune with the big Sasquatch with, I think it's Bugs Bunny. I'm a bunny rabbit. I'm going to call him George. Anyway, so in the very front, there's a little green fish person, and we put a little pile of poop. And the story was that when Will, he yells out 1 hour left or 5 minutes, so it scared the poop out of him. Now, the fun part, aside from that just being fun and funny, when we were doing presentations, I had forgotten. Every time we did the presentation for the other, I'd forgotten about the poop deck, and I'd forgotten about the party pooper. So we did our presentation, and I go, oh, you know what? Wait a minute. This is important. And I don't remember exactly how I said it. I wish I could get the video clip of this, but I said, every build we have had a poop theme. And I explained the party outhouse, the poop deck, and the party pooper. And I said, in this one, and I told about George, the pooping when Will called out. Oh my God. And then Will, his line was, I'm so glad you finally got that one out, Tim. Anyway, and then it just kind of went downhill from there. We were talking about everybody loves good poop joke. The camera crew was all laughing. Amy and Jamie were laughing. Will, everybody. It was just a great moment, and made me feel good, because farting and pooping, that's a great humorous topic. Even at my age, maybe more so at my age, is funnier. But anyway, so that was something that may or may not know. And then one of the last things, sometimes you hear me referred to as Tank. And when I went to the show, because we're Tim H and Tim H, I didn't want, I thought it might get kind of confusing and stuff. And so initially I thought, I'm going to tell them to call me Tiny, because, I am quite a little bit bigger than Tim, and I just thought it would be funny if everybody called me Tiny. And so I was telling there was a team of people that just kind of took care of us, and made sure, helped us with lunchtime, and just if we needed certain things. And I made friends with everybody, but there was one young man in particular that we talked a lot. And so I told him this idea early on. So one morning he said, what about Tank? He said, you wear tank tops every day. And I did. I wore tank when we went to the set every day. I had a tank top and my cargo shorts, which is is what I wear all the time, because it's too hot. I would wear these all the time if it wasn't so hot down here, because I love my overalls too. But I wear a tank top. And so he said, what about Tank? And I'm like, you know what? I love that. And everybody, so my fellow castmates, all the crew, my sound guys and stuff, when they mic us up and stuff, is check, Tank. And so that's stuck. And so most of the castmates, when they talk about me, they call me Tank. So that's a fun little thing, and made me feel good. So let's see. That was something. So on the overall thing, we also get asked a lot of times. People want to know, because certain shows, certain teams have a theme. They all have a theme, but like one year, season 2, Moto and I can't think what his teammate was, but they had the lab coats on, because they were scientists, both kind of science background. And so I guess a lot of people assume that Tim and I, they ask us to wear the overalls. Well, the truth of that is, our very first Zoom call that we did for season 1, the casting person I initially talked to, I told him all about my Wild West and building and all that, and he was just excited about that, just like Tito. And so I really I don't wear cowboy stuff. I've got a pair of boots, but I don't wear hats and all that. I grew up with them, but I don't these days, even though we're in Texas and all that. So I had my overalls though, and so I kind of, as a joke, or actually they agreed to it too, but I wore my overalls. And so that whole through season 1, I wore my overalls. Tim had denim, he had a denim jacket or shirt or something like that he kind of wore. Well, then when we did our season 3 go around, they asked about both of us wearing overalls, and Tim was a good sport about it, and he probably wears them more than I do these days. He wears them, he's got a home inspection business, so he wears them for that, and when the weather's not 100 degrees, and so he was really good about that. And so this season, of course, they just kept with that, and so we got to wear my beloved overalls, and I tried desperately to let everybody know. I said that was my job, get America to wear overalls. And one of the things was about the pockets. And so if you've seen, everybody's carrying bins when you go to the brick pit and you load those up. Well, usually about one trip to the brick pit was all I took. And then from there on out, I would just load up my pockets. I would all the parts. And so I'd come back to the table and just sit there emptying my pocket. One of my friends watched one of the videos, and he did call me. He said, "Tim, were you pulling brick out of your pocket?" I said, yes, all the time. I said, I'm surprised they didn't show more of it. But anyway, yeah, because every episode I was loading up these pockets with brick, and that's how I did it. And they worked out great. Or I even had, pockets up here. So, you know what? It really was. And I got to say this, I got to thank my family for all the support, especially my wife. She made it possible for me to be able to have the time to try out for both of them. Actually 3 seasons that we did, and because it is a lot of time and a lot of work, and she sacrificed and did a lot of things that made it possible, and I love her dearly for it, and I can't thank her enough for it. And so, that's probably one of the best parts about it. All the fun that our family's going to have from this. And y'all saw the little picture of me and my grandson in our overalls and stuff. That was great, having fun with that. And so I look forward to many years of, if nothing else, just having some fun with that. And as far as where it goes from here, I don't know. I really am enjoying. We've been doing quite a few of these meet and greets. I recently went to Wichita, as you all know, as part of Brick Convention, and I was there as a Lego Master contestant, and also to show off my Western build and stuff. But I signed a lot of autographs and got to meet and talk to a lot of people, a lot of fellow Kansans, because I am from Kansas originally, and just loving it. We've done several meet and greets, and I plan to do many, many more, do more conventions, and just share the love. I mean, Lego Masters, it is a great show. It's a great family show. It's a reality show, unlike any other. It's a competition, but ultimately it's kind of a competition for yourself, because you're there trying to build the best you can. And yes, you want to outdo the others to stay and all that, but ultimately it's you wanting to do your best, and you hope that your best is maybe better than the others. But at the end of the day, we're all there to support each other and to see what each other can do, and to cheer each other on to do the best, because that's it. We want everybody to do their best, And you're going to see that this season. You've already seen that. There's been those Cirque du Soleil builds last week, the movement, stuff like that were awesome. Lewis and Alex, the monkeys from the last week or the episode before, were just a fun build. And Poppy and Ben, oh my God, the stuff they've come out. And Allison and Melanie, a lot of great creatures. I mean, you're talking about creatures and stuff. That's some fun stuff. And of course, Sam and Nina, oh my gosh, wow. And my good friend, Jordan and Chris, they went home way too soon because they are some top-notch builders. But that's the thing with this show. I mean, you can be the best builder in the world, but the wrong challenge comes down and it'll throw you off, and you can go home. I mean, that's the thing it is. It's such a fine line. I salute Amy and Jamie. I mean, it's got to be tough. I couldn't do it. I mean, not at all. So to find a way to be able to send somebody home each week, it's kind of tough. I mean, sometimes it's more obvious than not, but for the most part, and with this crew, it's so close that you do really have to nitpick and stuff. But and Paul and Alita, oh my God, those two are so much fun. Typical siblings, reminded me of me and my sister. She's about 5 years younger, and oh my God, we were always fighting and carrying on. And so yeah, it was fun watching them. Who am I leaving out? Kelly, Emily, I think we talked about them. I love them both. Emily's so much fun. She's very social like me, so we got along really great. Christopher and Robert, oh my gosh, those two, wow, phenomenal. And Ryan and Aubrey, yeah, they really beautiful builders, and you saw a lot of their great details. So going to be a good season. Finish watching it out. I know I'm going to enjoy it. I have no regrets, and I think that's about it. I mean, if you have any questions, like there's certain things I can't talk about, but I definitely want to leave the impression in everybody's mind that this show is a great show. It's a positive show, and once you see it, it's there. What's real? There's no manufactured drama. It's TV, so they do tend to focus on certain things a certain way, but at the end of the day, the feelings, the words, the emotions you saw were just as real as it gets. And I'm here to tell you, those of you that kind of talk about the mocks and stuff, and oh, they're terrible and all that. Yeah, it's a lot easier said than done. So, and I can't comment more than that on that, but there's some reasons why certain things are as simple as they are. And that's what part of being a Lego master is taking a little bit of adversity and making it into something good. And so, I will just say this, the parts, 5 million parts is a lot of parts, but they can't have everything. There's just too many parts now. So there's a lot of parts, a lot of basic parts. I mean, a ton of basic parts, but that's that. So, the more specialized you want to get and stuff, you got to figure out better ways to do it, which really pulls in the whole Lego master idea that, step above kind of thing. So, I hope this video, it's a very long video, but there was just a lot of stuff, and it's going to be even a little bit longer because I'm going to pop a few photos and videos in amongst my commentary here. And so just enjoy and know that this was probably one of the biggest brick adventures I've had yet. And I hope that more comes, and I'd love to do more TV shows. I don't know what, but it wasn't about being on the TV either. It was just, I love doing it. It was a job I could do every day, from makeup to the interviewing, to, the challenges, just the daily doings was something that I enjoyed every minute of and could do it every day for the rest of my life. So I hope maybe I get another opportunity either something Lego Masters Christmas special, or you know, we're probably due for an all-star or some kind of bring back some previous contestants. Hopefully we win, you know, or we were good enough to be considered to be brought back for something. But you know, who knows? Life is funny how it works. It's just, I never would have imagined me doing this, being on this show even 4 years ago. I mean, it just so you take it and you just keep plugging forward and following your heart. So all right, everybody, I love y'all. Thank you for the support, and I really do thank you for all your support for the show and for us during the show and our journey on the show. It's been awesome. I can't thank y'all enough. It's been wonderful to see all the comments and just all the love, and it is appreciated and it is acknowledged. So thank y'all, and y'all come back now. You hear?